Well, you got a great background, honestly.
I do have a great background, except it's gonna get darker.
Welcome to Chatterpod, where ideas take flight. Join us as we explore thought-provoking discussions, inspiring growth, and celebrating the power of ideas.
Alrighty, guys, welcome to Chatterpod. My name is Jeremy.
My name is
What's up,
Jeffrey.
guys?
Manny.
Tyler.
Hi, I'm Cole.
Hi,
Me.
I'm Grant.
Yeah, so we got the twins here today. Grant's twin brother, Cole's here. Which one's older?
Okay.
Grant's older.
Yeah,
Really?
100%. Yeah.
How long?
How many minutes?
2 minutes.
2 minutes?
2 minutes.
Damn. All right. So we're gonna start off with the would you rather, like usual. Would you rather? We're gonna do it's a classic one. You've never heard it before, but it's good. Would you rather be able to fly or be able to teleport?
Lie.
All right, we got one fly.
Teleport for me.
Teleport. I agree. I teleport. I would teleport.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree with teleport.
Teleport.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Can't fly into
You
a bank
break-
vault.
Well,
Damn
I
right.
don't matter.
Yeah, that's vital. You can warp in and out, in and out, in and out, you know?
That's
Yeah,
right.
Alright,
you
guys.
guys seen Jumpers?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about. I haven't seen it.
So good.
Cole's seen it. Cole's seen
Such
it.
a good
It's
movie.
really good.
I have?
Yes, you have.
I have seen it?
You've
Okay.
seen it.
I have a bad memory.
Okay, Cole, what are you doing teleporting?
Yeah, 100%.
Grant's all of us except Jeffrey are teleporting.
I'm the only
Yeah.
flyer.
Yeah.
So he's gonna
Yeah.
slam into the
All right,
bank
so
vault
why
wall
are you
while
flying?
we
Why are you
rob
flying,
it.
huh?
What it means, he's flying solo.
With flying, you can break high speeds, break Mach 5 speeds and just, and you see the sights. You're seeing beautiful stuff.
I'll
I
teleport
could probably
into-
survive in space. I could probably survive in space
You don't
flying and
have
look
you
at the
don't
world.
have Superman powers. You just have the power of flight.
Your head would explode in the upper
Up in
atmosphere.
space, bro.
I'll
Yeah.
be flying everywhere.
Did you see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3?
Yeah, I actually have seen it.
I actually
Yeah,
haven't.
so that's a good example of what would happen. I don't know if it's like I don't know how accurate it is, but realistically,
So,
it's probably a good.
If you
good
just
close
if you just have the power of flight, you don't have any extra super strength or anything like that. You can't fly fast. Because if you fly fast, your body will start to. I mean, imagine moving at 1,000 miles per hour without a cage around you. Body would tear
all
apart.
the G-force. Yep.
Probably body would tear apart. So if we're saying you're able to Superman fly, which means you would have resistance to like wind resistance and shit and friction, then you could fly really fast. And we'll lump it in like that because if you're gonna talk about teleporting, then you also have you might teleport into a wall. So we'll add the caveat onto teleporting. You can't get stuck. So if we can say you can't get stuck, then with flight, you can't kill yourself from flying. So
Sweet swag.
all right. So something that's really important, really, it's always good to talk about is mental health, and how fucked it is in our generation. Right? I think that's the biggest epidemic currently.
Yeah, absolutely.
Grant's going for a psychology major. Shed some light on the subject, Grant.
Puts him on the spot, and he's like, "What? Excuse you?"
Enlighten us.
Well,
Enlighten
no,
us,
that's
my friend.
fair. That's a good point. Thank you, Jeremy, for that.
Oh, man.
Honestly, it's again for me. What it comes down to at the end of the day is we are human. So that means that however you want to look at it, to each his own. I like to I believe that we all have something, right? There is some baggage, there is some weight that we all carry. No one is not free. No one is not perfect. They can't be.
Perfect.
Jeremy is. Jeremy's the only exception to the rule.
Jeremy's a god among men.
And but with those respects and those regards, what happens is, we hit COVID. We finally realized, holy crap, we're not taking a look at who we are within ourselves and what we need to do for ourselves. So I think COVID, was sort of a double-edged sword. It did good and it did a lot of harm. And I think the good it did was making us realize that as humanity, we need to focus more on our self-care and our emotional intelligence. Because being able to like fully have a higher level of emotional stability and maintaining self-care is crucial for all of us, no matter who you are. Even if you take 5 minutes out of your day just to do something that you really like, it's critical for you and for your health and well-being for the rest of the world. So,
Just
Hey,
sorry.
why would you do that?
Coach Jeremy just went like.
is that like
Do
the
you wanna share-
hoopla?
do you want to
Is that
share
like
your
the
audience?
hoopla?
5 minutes out of your day.
I mean, it's like a minute for me.
man.
1 minute for you.
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
Man, it's more like 45 minutes to an hour for me if we're talking about self.
All right, that's not mental
Yeah.
health.
Tyler, that's self care. Tyler's like 2
Self-care.
seconds. That's
He
what
really is, bro. But he does
Shut
it. But it's like he does like 20 self-care stints in a day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Hold on,
Okay.
what's everyone's record?
Yeah. What's everyone's record, bro?
I think 8.
No.
8 for you. It's like 6 for me.
No.
It's like 3 for me.
Tyler's
Well,
gonna
it
be
takes
like,
you
I
an
can't
hour,
say anything because
obviously,
it's
it's
like
like 3.
20.
I mean, yeah, but what free time do y'all have?
It's not 20. Tyler's saying 30.
This isn't like now.
Not
This
30.
is like
Tyler's
back when I
saying
was
40.
a teenager.
5.
50.
No.
60.
Yeah.
I
agree with me, Zach.
80.
You got the
leaving
world
this
record.
topic under close. No.
He does it 69 times a day.
Gross.
69.
Six number.
That's unhealthy. Someone actually died from that, by the way.
Great number.
Yeah, your heart will
No, they
palpitate
haven't.
after a little bit.
Yeah, it's pretty tight.
That's what she said.
But yeah,
So
Um,
good.
mental health is a real thing.
Well, yeah,
just
Pidado.
like what Grant just said. Honestly, it's like when COVID hit, like it actually was like a real reality check about like we kind of really had to like look at ourselves and we're like, whoa,
It also
okay, this is how it's like without people. Like I was like, yeesh. Then I got back into reality and I was like, how do I manage this?
yeah.
That's my thing for
I
people.
totally agree. I
with
mean, a lot
people.
of, definitely opened the eyes of so many people. Also in the job market, made people realize like their own self values, which is good in the long run. In the short run, it's sucking for a lot of people.
Yeah, it
Um,
drastically changed the entire
There's a lot more
working
work
everything.
from home stuff, which is really great
Yep.
for people. It really allows them to connect more with their families and their loved ones,
Mm-hmm.
which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But there's now that so many people don't want to work the shitty jobs, but we need people to work the shitty jobs, unfortunately. And it's gonna take a while for companies to adjust and better compensate the shitty jobs.
Right. Yep. Fair enough.
And everyone's like, "Oh, low skill jobs shouldn't get paid well." I think any occupation, if you're working 40 hours a week, you should be able to pay your bills.
Like provide the income to pay your bills, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
should
yeah.
provide income enough to pay your bills, either if it's rent, if it's owning a home, whatever
Yeah,
it is.
fair enough.
'Cause I feel for a lot of people, I think a lot of their existential dread comes from fear of knowing that they won't be able to have the lives that their parents had. They won't be able to own a home. It's like what 92% of our generation will never own a home, statistically speaking,
Yeah, I think you're
unless
right.
it's
It's around
inherited.
there.
It's a ridiculous number.
Yeah, it's insane.
I mean, looking at the market in regards to any apartment. I mean, anywhere you look. I mean, Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, right? The rent cost, grocery cost, right? The cost of living is just gruesome compared to what it used to be. I mean, hell, I mean, there's so many goofy memes and posts that you have on like Facebook where it's like they're like 1975, like I'm gonna buy a house for $1,500 or something stupid, right? Obviously, it's a gross example
Yeah.
and not accurate, but
Yeah, when our,
Those are
when our
so-
what you're saying.
grandparents bought a house for $25 in a case of beer
right.
and a promise that they'll pay for it.
Yeah.
You know, and then
Yep.
credit score came and started fucking that up. The fact
So
that- the fact
basically,
that
it's none of our faults.
I mean, it's in reality we have not been in the economy to have it be our fault. We haven't been here long enough. It is not our fault.
Mm.
Obviously, some people can definitely work harder, right? Some people can definitely do more, but the lack of the ability to succeed is the fault of our parents and their parents' generations. They lived in the wealthiest economy, the wealthiest communities ever in human history,
Yep.
and instead of making it better for their children, like every generation ever before them had, they got greedy and stuck us with the bill.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is the biggest hitter for mental health, especially our generation.
Yeah.
And the younger in Gen Z, because we have the social media and all this information is readily available and in our faces all the time. So
Yeah.
these kids are growing up knowing, like we grew up thinking, oh, we'll probably be able to do this, right?
Right. We didn't learn until we got to that point.
Until we were older. We didn't realize it.
Right.
But most
Yeah.
of us, when we were younger, we're like, oh, I can't wait to start a family, have a home, yada yada yada. But now that we're older, we're realizing, okay, a lot of us aren't going to be able to do that. And I feel like Gen Z, they skipped that hopeful part and went right to I'm never going to be able to live on my own without 20 different roommates.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Kind of what you were just saying, Jeremy. I've talked to a lot of people about this, and it's really scary and nerve wracking to me. Is with my field and what I want to do, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to ever buy a home. I'm actually kind of scared about if I can do that or not.
Most people,
I'm very
unless you have a $180,000 household, they're not buying a home. That's like
no.
that's a minimum because 20% now for most
Is the-
homes is $100,000.
Yep. Is the cost of down payment and all that. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
$100,000. How much money can you save a month? 500 if you're really, really, really stretching it.
If I'm stretching it, it's going to be right around close to 1,000.
Okay, if you're doing nothing other than your bills, 1,000. Okay.
If I'm staying away from everything but gas and necessities, outside of that, I could definitely save close to 1,000.
Okay, so we got
100%.
100,000 divided by 1,000, right? That's still 100 months. So that's still almost 2 years, right? And most people cannot put that much back because they're like Grant has his rent, right?
That's more than 2 years.
Well, 52.
Yeah, 100 months.
Oh, no, sorry, 100 months. So yeah, that's
That's
eight-
way more than
8
2
years. I was thinking,
Like a
I was
long
thinking
time.
weeks. I was thinking weeks when I said 2 years.
Yeah,
that's
you're
8
thinking.
years.
Yeah, you were thinking
Yeah,
way too
yeah.
fast.
That's
That
8
was
years
weeks.
to save up a down payment from a home, and by that point, the down payment is going to be 120,000.
Oh yeah, it'll be fucked by then.
So people that
We haven't
that
even-
have rent and their car bills and their insurance and their phone bills, like Grant probably can save 200, 300 a month if he's really stretching it and not doing anything else. So you got that, that 100,000 divided by
Yeah, give me the math,
200,
baby.
right?
Yeah, give me the math.
Divided by 12.
How many months I
Paul
got?
is
How
a
many months I
witness
got,
to
It's going
baby?
to take you 41 years to save up $100,000.
Yeah, Grant ain't retiring.
I'm not.
Grant's home
I'll be
gonna be the grave
I'll be
he buried himself in.
68 at that time. I'll be
Right.
68.
So, unless people aren't driving, so they don't have cars, unless people are living in their parents' house, there is not a lick of a possibility that they're gonna be able to buy a home, and it's really unfortunate.
It is.
Obviously, there's
And-
always the possibility of getting a better job,
Mhm.
but there are only so many better jobs.
As I say, that's very tough too currently.
I'm actually worried that I'm going to have 2 jobs, and we're not even mentioning any kind of school debt.
Yeah,
that
no, we're not
mean,
mentioning any
is
debts at all.
yeah.
I mean, ultimately, like finding a job is don't laugh, but finding a job is just like fishing, right? If I keep throwing my line in the water, right, and I keep throwing my line in the water, keep throwing my line in the water, keep throwing my line in the water, I'll never really catch something, right? So the
Yes,
more
exactly.
often that I apply myself, the more often that I attempt to find a job, then I will always have the potential to have a job and improve. Well, at least in my case, always improve my if you want to call it
Hourly wage
salary,
or salary.
Salary.
yeah, or hourly, whatever you're making, right, or whatever you're moving into, you should technically always be able to improve, right? If
Yeah.
you stay
But
and at
the thing
least
is, for a lot of
maintain
people like
credibility.
Gen Z, they're fishing without a hook.
Okay,
That's a
all
good
right, fair enough.
analogy.
Yeah,
That's like perfect.
You can cast a line
That's
into the
perfect.
water, but without they don't even have the hook to start with.
Bait.
now
And
would you
and
say that's
as
because they don't
population
have any?
increases, the job market gets more scarce. And so there are less fish in the sea, and you don't have hook, you don't have your baits, you don't have, your special lures, no bobbers or whatever it is that increases your odds of fishing. A lot of people are in the job market with just a line, no rod, no hook, you know, just that fishing line, and they're trying to swim at the same time.
Let's get theoretical for a second here. So, for someone like me who wants to be in my field, right?
What is
I
your
want to
field?
have a career in music. I want to be a performer, right? Someone who's like me, say I have the job, right? But I'm getting paid at a certain hourly that's not anywhere near what I may need to pay for rent and whatever. The odds are very likely that I'm probably going to have 2 jobs in my life for a long time. Would you agree or disagree?
No,
Two jo-
there's an absolute agree. The thing about it though
2
too
jobs
with
and
your
5 roommates.
industry is your industry primarily focuses on status. The whole music
Yeah. Yep.
industry, all that stuff is a status quo. It's where do you sit in the line of people in the hierarchy. So once you get to a certain point, yeah, you'll be swimming in the dough, but that may take you 10, 20, 30, 40 years.
Yeah, I
Have to
completely
work
agree.
for it, and I'm the type of person. Well, I mean, I have to be, but it's not just I have to be. I want to be that person who grows and reaches those goals. That, kind of what you just talked about. I want to be able to have a family, like a wife and kids, and a place to live and be happy
Yeah, you'll do it,
forever.
man. Shoot for the
And
stars, you'll be among the moon. Oh, dude,
it's
I
scary.
fucked that up.
Shoot for the stars and you land on the moon. Yeah.
Yeah,
Shoot for
right.
the moon. If you miss, you'll be among the stars.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
Okay.
It's really I'm actually really terrified about my future, and I don't really know how to go about it.
You're right with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if
And
you will it, it'll happen.
I'm not going either left or right here. This is straight down the middle. There are too many politicians on both sides who are too old, too geriatric, and too greedy. I think the only real shot for improvement of our country and
Wiping
of
the
our
slate of
world as
all
a
of them.
whole is to
Absolutely.
scrap both sides, scrap
Absolutely.
all of them.
Yeah,
Reset it.
absolutely.
Hmm.
Just
complete
all hold hands.
shutdown.
Yep.
It's
I won't.
the only shot.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. That's,
Yeah,
that is a
the
path.
fact that there are 8 people on dementia medication in Congress is wild. That should
Yep.
be
Yes. All
illegal.
right.
Should be
Just
illegal.
Wow, it's
just
hard.
for the record, we are not political here. So
I know.
No.
I'm just
just putting
saying
that
we're
record.
talking about
Yeah, no.
countries.
I get what you're saying. I like what you're saying. It's
I don't
nice
care.
to
I
talk
don't care
about.
who's in what off. I don't care who's in office. I don't care who's in the presidential seat. As long as I want them to be younger. I want them to
Yeah.
be our age. You know,
Yes.
it's
You
just
need
because
younger politicians.
we need younger
You're right.
politicians. We need younger presidents. They're just too disconnected. They will never understand because they're already on their ivory towers because they're that political world which is usually
Yeah.
very wealthy
Yeah.
people. Because you need a lot of money to run. So they're already separated from us as individuals. And then a stack on top of that, they're 70. What? I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
70, 81, 80.
90s. Like what the hell?
Yep. Wow, that's crazy. I didn't even know that part.
Yeah, I mean it's ridiculous. We need term limits. We need younger people, and then things might start to improve. But
There are all sorts of
there's
things we
always
need.
it might be too far gone. Most empires, most superpowers last about 250 years, and the United States is around that time. So it's very possible we'll have a big economic collapse and recycling of world power. I wouldn't doubt it. That happened soon.
Gentlemen, we do live in some crazy times, and one thing that we can do with each other is comfort each other, especially in mental health.
Yeah, I mean, reach out to your friends, your family.
Grant,
Like
stop.
you guys that
What's
were
Grant doing?
especially Jeremy and
I don't know.
Grant, Cole a little bit too. You guys are really there for
Only a little
me.
bit, Cole.
In my, yes, no,
Cole, can
Cole
you get
was
some more light
there.
on you,
Cole's
bud?
there.
Dude, it's
I just
getting so dark.
I
Yo,
told you it would.
What? Or Mother Earth just flicked the switch on you, bro.
they
Go
just shut it
inside and
off.
turn on the lights, my guy.
Yeah,
And then I have
go
this
ahead. Go
dumbass
ahead.
Arlo that has like one of those spotlights, so it comes on every now and then. I'm like, oh, that helps, and then it disappears.
Yeah, it does help, bro. We were was able to see you, but I was also intrigued by you going up to the camera with your big ass eyes. I was like, shit. Yeah, hello.
There
Yes,
we go.
hi. Yes, hi.
Duck
But
Dynasty up close and personal.
getting serious for a second. Yeah, these people here have been true to me and are good people, and I thank God for these people because they've helped me through some really rough situations, especially at school, with dealing all of that crap. Jeremy and Grant, you both know I'm like, Joe, I need to keep studying for this. You guys are like, no, go to bed. I'm like, yes, I need to keep studying for this. Like, no, you've studied enough. Go to bed. I'm like, okay. And then I go, and they're like, how'd it go? How'd it go? I'm
You
like,
won't remember
I
any
did
of it
fine.
if you're sleep deprived.
And he goes, he goes, how did it go? I'm like, it went fine. They're like, see, we told you. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, Tyler's a big stressor. He wants to have everything controlled.
Stress
And
overthinker.
you'll
I'm a
definitely
very big
learn as
overthinker.
you grow older and more experienced that you can't control everything. Just take what you can.
The other thing too
Honestly, that's
is
better, Cole.
Yeah, that's
the
way
other,
better. I don't
yeah,
even care
I like
how
seeing
creepy it is.
Bedroom.
Crimson
Bedroom.
Red, bro. But yeah, I
I could just
definitely
go
learned.
inside.
One thing I learned during COVID is that not mental health, but self care so important, especially in college. You don't learn that when you first start college, and then it comes and you're like, oh, I actually need to tend to my necessities. Like I need to eat, I need to get sleep, I actually need to do these things to be successful, and there's things that I need to do for myself to have a stress relief. So that's something I really learned, and that's my 2 cents. So I'll pass it off to somebody else if we want to go into the next segment, or do
All
we
right,
want
let's
to
do
keep
this.
talking about the situation?
Manny, Jeffrey, guys, you got anything you want to say about mental health? What's going on recently? Lay it
Actually,
on
it
us.
is. Mental health is one of the most important things in life because to one person, one of the easiest things you can fall into is depression off mental health.
Mm.
That's and then you won't take care of your weight anymore. Your eating habits will start going all over the place now. You're just gonna become a sack of potato
Mhm.
just off depression alone. It depends on how severe it'll hit you. Everyone is different, but
Yeah, so
that's
some
how
of the things
I
that
would
come along.
generalize being depression as being you end up becoming a sack of potato, to be honest. And it's always
Well,
hard to
potatoes.
come out of that. But other than that, it's like mental health, and then you'll start treating people wrong if your mental health isn't in the right place. And people who want to help you, you're gonna push them away instead of embracing the help and being appreciative of certain things. Become spiteful and
Those are trauma
a,
responses, but yes.
a bunch of negativity comes along with it, but you don't even want anything like that.
Right.
That's
What you
why,
just said, Grant.
like Tyler was saying that he's grateful for all of you guys. You guys were there for him. That's the type of support people need. That circle of friends of constant support and positivity. That's why the slogan I say is peace, love, positivity.
Yes,
It's a different
sir.
form
I
of
like that.
love. No,
I was gonna say
it takes a lot of strength to ask for help. And
It
Oh
does.
my God, does it?
until
It does.
we start focusing more up during upbringing about telling men to be able to ask for help.
Yeah.
There's not gonna be much change.
especially-
Like we're pretty set in our ways already. 20+ years on the
But
on
it's
the earth.
but it's that pride and ego in us that
No, it
makes
is not. It is not. It is systematic stereotyping and biasing of creating a generalized idea for what a male should and be and act in the society and world. Has nothing to do about our egos and pride. Has everything
It's-
about to do what has been influenced onto us without allowing us the opportunity to be emotional and free.
Yeah, so if you be looking at social media on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube videos, they always kept talking about how about the men who should be providers and the hunters in any and every type of situation. But it's like, why are we being pushed? Why are we being thrust into that mindset, into that type of situation, when all we want to do is focus on what makes us happy, what makes us, the men, happy in doing
Right,
whatever
and
the hell we want to do.
And unfortunately,
correct.
because we've been
But
conditioned, at least me personally, if X will make me happy, but Y will make someone else happy and make me unhappy, I'll end up going with Y, because I'm conditioned to put others first.
Yeah, same.
So I'll put myself down in order to bring other people up.
so it's like to what Manny said, how to be pushed and everything. It's because to be honest as well, men are the reasons why the world is built the way it is.
No,
You
no, let's
know,
not start. Let's not go down that path on this podcast. No, men and women equally have made
whoa, oh yeah,
significant
equally. I'm sorry,
contributions.
I'm
There are
sorry, I'm
women that
sorry.
will overpower you and
That
all of
was
us in a second.
very bad wording, very bad wording.
Yes.
But it's like when things need to be done, it'll have to be done, regardless how it'll have to be done. Regardless of certain situations and or certain boundaries or obstacles that you have to overcome. We'll have to do. It'll have to be done. But some people don't want to do that. They want the easy way in things, and that's never a good thing when you get the easy way. Because you don't know what it is like to struggle or to want something or to desire it. You just think it's gonna be handheld to you. Golden. How you say it? Golden spoon fed. I think that's
I mean,
Spoon-fed.
Silver
So-
spoon in your
Spoon.
mouth.
silver
so
spoon. Silver
Yeah.
spoon. That's the
Oh,
ultimately
let's pause real quick. I'm gonna balance audio.
balance audio.
bounce
Yeah.
audio. What does that mean?
Well, some people are a lot quieter than others.
Okay.
All right, Manny, talk.
Are we good?
All right, Tyler.
Cole was gonna say something next, guys. So
Oh no,
let him
just
say
keep
something.
this going. Grant.
Grant.
All right, Cole.
Go 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 go.
Okay, we're good now.
Okay, Cole, go ahead.
All right, Cole. Yep.
The only thing I was just gonna say was bouncing off what you were saying, Jeffrey, is like people like wanting and desiring. Grant would say it as well, but like innately as humans, we already have wants and desires, right? It's I mean, we're built that way. We're programmed that way. We already have wants, desires, needs. Fetishes, right? There's a lot, right? And that's just how it is as a creature, right? A creature of habits, so on and so forth, right? And ultimately, if you take like Manny's point about like the hunter versus gatherer, which is kind of like a philosophical principle about like the simple basics of like the God, was it the like if you're a caveman, right? It was primal and just hunt and gather, right? Which to this day some people still do, right? I mean, you talk about like farming culture, so on and so forth, right? Where people hunt and gather, they go out and hunting, they go procure deer, right? It brings food to the table, so on and so forth, right? There's a lot of different aspects, philosophies, different associations and school of thoughts and rules, and there's just a lot, right? At the end of the day, mental health is an umbrella that encompasses everyone, right? And with mental health, right, it's unique, individualized, right? Everybody is gonna solve their mental health or have a different way of approaching their mental health than anyone else, right? Because what Grant's going to do for his mental health won't be the same that I'm going to do, that Jeremy's going to do, that Jeffrey's going to do, that Tyler's going to do, right?
A coping
Yeah,
mechanism.
yeah. If you want to call coping mechanisms, right? You can't, right? We're all individuals. We're uniquely created individuals. We're all different, right?
Of course.
I think that's great.
That's a
Right.
1000%.
Yep.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah, remember to check up on the people that you love and care about.
Yep.
All right, so
And that's it.
we're gonna go to some. I think it's a pretty good transition from talking about mental health to like what inspires you or how you've inspired others, or just stories about the human dominance of like mental or whatever. Just like tell me an inspirational story about yourself or someone else that inspired you.
Sure. I'll go first.
Who's
Go first.
who's got just a question? Who's got the background interference?
Oh, that's
That
Manny.
is not
It's
me.
Manny. We
Just
can
push
hear
the-
people
push
talking in the
top
back.
real quick.
There you go. Okay.
You're good now.
I mean,
I don't know.
So
I
I
you go.
had an uncle who passed away around Thanksgiving time, I believe 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And he was constantly smoking cigarettes, and he
Yeah.
wouldn't take care of himself, basically, you know. But only time he'll take care of himself would be like he'll go to like the hospital, the doctor, visit them, you know,
Right.
for something like that, regular general checkups. Other than that, he wasn't taking care of himself, and he ended up dying from all the cigarettes he kept smoking. So that was one reason why I had to stop smoking cigarettes, along with my child. And then now it's more of me doing push-ups and being more active and fit to
Good.
take care of myself. Because in the future, I'll be like 60 years old and, you know, walking with a cane, and I could barely stand up straight or something like that, you know, because I didn't take care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to be like that at all, where
Mhm.
I have to rely on a machine to breathe, or people see me in like my worst state. That hurts.
Mhm.
And then to other people as well, it's gonna hurt. Not everyone's gonna take a message like that and bounce from it or use it.
Yeah, but most people don't learn from stuff.
Yeah.
All right, Tyler, you had something you wanted to share?
Well, I've been thinking about a lot of different things because I'm the conqueror. Not to give some kind of ego trip here, but like, I like to think of myself as a conqueror because I've dealt with a lot of,
'Cause he's white.
Yeah. He's
shut up.
white.
Shut up. Yeah.
Hey, colonizer! You
Oh
you're wrong.
no.
No, he's actually part Native American.
Oh no.
Here we go.
Anyway, so the reason I say that is because I'm someone who struggled with grades a lot and in high school, and I never could. I've never been good with school, and actually, my first 2 years of high school, I only had all D's, and like one C. I actually had a C in choir, Jeremy, believe it or not, because of music theory.
Dude,
Damn,
I
Tyler
totally
has
do not believe it.
skinhead grades.
I know I 100% did have D's, all D's and C's in my first 2 years of high school.
He had so many
100%.
D's, bro.
No way. Are you
Yeah, you had
serious?
so many
I'm
D's
not
and
joking.
C's. Yeah, so many D's and C's.
That's crazy, bro.
Yes,
He's what?
100%.
Wow.
It actually took me
How many
a lot
D's did you
of
have? Did you say?
like one C and like a B in like my sophomore year,
Yeah,
but I had
okay.
one C in freshman year.
Yeah.
All D's.
All D's.
You just
Besides
took
the
the D's
point.
like crazy, man.
Haha, it's a lot of D's.
Shut up.
He's
Shut the
finally caught
fuck
up.
up,
He's
you
nuts.
fuckers.
It's like what, a
I
couple
was
minutes?
seeing what you were doing. I just didn't want to acknowledge it, you fucks. I did not want to acknowledge anything that
dying
you
right
fucking
now.
said. I wanted to totally
That bitch is
disregard
jealous.
everything you just said, but you guys made it too fucking overpowering, and here we are.
Yeah,
this
but I thought
morning.
like Jeremy and I smirking would like give it away at some point, but nah, man, everyone's doing it. You're like, yeah, I got him. I got the grades.
He's got so many D's.
All right, let him speak.
All
let him
right,
speak,
so
let him
I had all these bad grades in high school, and it
Oh,
took
man.
somebody like my parents to like really wake me up, and they're like, "Hey, if you don't better yourself, you're gonna not get into your school that you want to go to, you're not going to get to where you want to go. So I worked hard my last 2 years of high school, and I started getting A's and B's. I actually graduated with like a 2.49 GPA. I graduated with 2.49. I applied to my school of choice. I was denied. I went to I had to go to a community college I went for 2 semesters, and I reapplied, and they said no
Hey,
again.
Tyler, excuse me, Tyler. What college did you want to go originally?
University of Wisconsin Eau Claire, because of the music
Huge
program there.
Very pristine. You know,
Good
That's
music
a
program.
sweaty music program.
We
Was
like
I don't
to
know
think
anything
they
about
had,
music.
They had strict requirements.
well,
Uh,
just great. I mean, it's
oh,
a
No, they're just very successful and
It's
they
a
look
state
good
it was
like
university.
wherever you
admissions.
go. Yeah.
so
It was an
they have
admissions,
certain,
yeah.
you know.
It wasn't program. It wasn't program denial. It was school denial. So it was admissions denied, and that happened twice. I was denied twice. I went to community college for a year and a half, and after 3 times of applying, I finally got in. And then I got into the music program after audition, which was a hassle too. And I got my first semester there, and it was had B's, and I had to withdraw from a class because I wasn't doing well. And then the next semester after that, I had to withdraw from another class. And my parents said, you can't do this anymore. You can't take more withdrawals. You have to do something. So spring of 2020 was just this neutral like situation because everybody got sent home in the spring of 2020. We're like, what are we going to do now? I had to do piano in my basement. I had to learn piano in my basement with no one to give me guidance.
Piano is fire, bro.
It's great. It's a beautiful instrument, my friend. But it's not meant to be taught alone through a computer screen. No.
I agree.
So, in the fall of 2020, I said to myself, I'm not going to fail. I'm not going to withdraw from any more classes. I'm going to succeed. So, what did I do? I went and I got all A's and B's in my classes, and I made the dean's list in the fall semester of, I believe it was
Congratulations on making the
2020.
D's list.
It was
I'd
it was
say
great.
one of the most impressive things about Tyler is he learns extremely well from his mistakes.
Yeah.
And he,
Yeah,
and
he
he doesn't give
does.
up. Like it's pretty impressive. Most people they'll fuck up something and they'll kind of give up or get down. Tyler gets down, he cries about it, but then he comes back twice as hard, which is really really awesome.
He does. He does like
I'm
4
so
times
proud
as
of
hard,
my
bro.
friend.
Like strong arm in it. It's great, but he does. I do respect it too.
Yeah. I always try to put my best forth, and sometimes it's not always great
Best
the first
foot
time.
forward. You're good.
Yes.
You got it.
Yeah.
You do it.
Yeah, 100% what you just said. And it's not always great the first time, but the second time is going to be a lot better because you know what's coming.
The indomitable
Listen, man.
human will.
Different strokes for different folks.
I'm literally the
I prefer 2
modern
hands.
modern
About that. He's
day.
got a lot of D's.
Oh my god, guys.
I'm literally a modern day Rudy. That's what I like to think myself as. Have you guys seen that movie Rudy?
Rugby movie.
Excuse you?
Isn't
Football.
Rudy the rugby one?
No, it's
Oh,
Or is it
football.
the African
Football one.
football?
No,
What's that
it's a
one?
football.
Wait,
It's
why did it have to be African
shut
football?
up. Rudy's about a
there's one movie that's like based in like South Africa, it's either
Okay.
Mozambique
no,
or something.
no.
And
Besides the point.
I thought that's the one that he was talking about.
No, no. Rudy is a movie about a player who is about a kid who
Is his name Rudy?
as yes, Rudy. Shut up.
Not RYDY.
Shut up. Shut up. And it's basically a story about
ROODY?
I'm literally going to kill you. I know where you live.
ROODIE.
Go ahead.
know where you
let
live.
Let him speak. Let him speak.
RHOODIEY?
Rowdy.
Kill yourself.
That's his Texas brother.
So basically, it's a story about this kid who wanted to grow up to be a football player at Notre Dame, and he wasn't good in school, and he had to work extra hard to make sure that he had good academics, and he also had to work hard at being an athlete. He wasn't a good athlete. He was very small, and he was I believe he was a cornerback. So corners, you have to be pretty tall because you have to be able to play good defense against people. And he wasn't a good athlete. He was smaller. So he had to work so damn hard to get to this place, and he finally got his chance, and he got one sack on the quarterback. He did it, and he made his chance, and he got his way. So
There you go.
That's awesome, man.
All right.
worked for it, and he found it.
Thank you, Tyler.
That's my piece.
So I have a lot of, I think, different stories I could share for this. I'm gonna share one that's probably one of the more intense. Once upon a time, when far, far away. No, so I was born with severe scoliosis and like thoracic, a bunch of big words. But I had
Almost died.
my spine was like right, and my ribs were fused together, right. So at 8 months old, they had to take a knife and slice those ribs apart, and then tell you know this. I've told you.
No,
And
I did not know that actually.
okay, last
All
time
right,
I
well,
told
let him
him,
tell the story
hold up,
then.
last time I told him this, he had the same reaction, and then he went, "I didn't know this." So I think his mind
Don't
just
remember this.
like
Nah,
writes this
he's
stuff out.
trauma blocking it. He's trauma
He's
blocking
trauma
it.
blocking it. Yeah. So they sliced my ribs apart to because they're one like full chunk. And obviously your ribs can't expand or breathe that way. So 8 months old, they did that, and then they installed Vectors, vertical expandable prosthetic titanium ribs to attach to them and keep them spread apart. And then minimum twice a year, I flew down to San Antonio, Texas, to Santa Rosa Children's Hospital, and had my back sliced open, and had these titanium rods expanded or replaced with bigger ones. Originally, they gave the prognosis of maybe 3 to 5 years of life with the procedure, and I was like, yeah, fuck that. I'm gonna be a fighter pilot. Which I wanted to be, and my mother never told me I couldn't be a fighter pilot because of my surgery stuff. Which is, I mean, I'm sure she's trying to like make me have hope and positivity. But it would have been really great, not knowing. I mean, knowing that I couldn't do that, so I could have focused my entire like childhood on figuring out what I actually wanted to do instead. Whatever. I've forgiven her for that. I've forgiven her. But throughout all of my surgeries, I was um very often the I was very positive going into it. It got harder and harder to be positive the older I got, because the older I got, the more I understood the dangers of an invasive surgery. And every time before they put me to sleep, obviously nerves are high, emotions are high. I would always want to try to make my mom feel okay, right? Because I nothing I can do about it, right? I can't just like instantly be fine. But I'm gonna be asleep. My mom's gonna be the one awake for this 10-hour surgery, waiting for her baby to come out of the operating room, right? So no, I'd try to comfort her, let her see me brave, right? So she doesn't have to worry about me being scared or upset or sad. Obviously, it got harder and harder to do that as I understood I could die from this. um, so as the years went on, playing that soldier role obviously got more challenging. But I try to keep that good attitude. I feel I have the best recovery rate out of everyone that's had my procedure. So when I first got it done, when I was 8 months old, it was still an experimental procedure, meaning it wasn't FDA approved or anything like that. I was the 81st person to get it in the world. So obviously not super low, but they've done it a few times, but still it's pretty new for a surgical procedure. And I had the best recovery rate every time. I was out of the hospital within a day and a half, right? Which is unheard of for invasive surgeries. Because I mean, the cut on the back was a few inches, 5-6 inches, and they were jostling around the stuff inside. But having that positive attitude, for my mom translated to me healing. I feel like me healing a lot faster, and because I would have that, I'd be trying to have that good mental, attitude, which increased my need to get up and walk around and get out of the hospital. I remember there was one time, my mom was out in the hall talking to the nurse, talking about maybe getting me discharged. I walk out of the room. I have my IV cart, right? Walk around with the IV cart, and I remember thinking, you know what? I bet I could ride this thing if I ran and jumped.
Oh
on it.
no.
Right?
I knew it.
And remember, I had surgery like about a day ago before this, right?
Oh,
So I still have
no.
fresh stitches, fresh wounds. And I'm like, all right, let's do this. So I start running, and I jump on the IV cart, and I'm gliding along the hallway, and I smack into the wall. I didn't fall over, which is good, but my mom tells me the story from her point of view. They freaking out, and then I hit the wall, and then I look back and smile, and then she says that she remembers the nurse saying, "Well, I think we can discharge him. I think he's good to go." But usually it takes people with my procedure. It usually took them a week or two to get out of the hospital. Yeah, but having that positive outlook on it really fucking helped. I mean, I was out 24 hours, 25 sometimes. I mean, and
Jeremy,
it helped me with my social skills because going through the pre-op procedures, I was chit chatty, talking to the nurses.
Okay.
Exactly. There were some cute ones growing up. But it was never really about that. And I guarantee you now, if someone said, "Okay, Jeremy, you need an IV," I'm like, "Okay, I can do it myself." I've had 58 surgeries, right? So over 3,000
A
stitches.
lot.
found that out in high school. He told us that in high school.
Yeah, so I've had a lot of surgeries.
Everyone, no one believed him.
I know. I don't understand why. I mean, if I showed you my back, it looks like a topographical map.
Yeah,
back
it's
look
kind of
like-
lit, bro.
His cuts look
Looks
like
like a
this.
split.
Yeah.
We see
No,
your
it
back
doesn't.
looks
cuts-
like a
Shut up,
literally
split.
look
Tyler.
like
His
this.
back's fucked up as shit, bro.
I'm his best friend.
Jeremy's
seen his
back.
back.
My back's massively
Jeremy.
fucked up, but it's pretty cool.
Nah, his back's fucked
No,
up.
I was
It's
saying his
lit, bro.
scars. I was saying his scars look like this.
He got a slave
Like-
back.
I do.
Yo, he
got
does.
a
He does
slave
though. He
back.
does though.
But I
He's
can't
not
say
wrong
it.
though. He
You
really
can agree with
does.
it, but I can't say it.
You
Oh,
had to go there, Jeff. You just had to go
wow.
That's the best analogy you can
Yeah.
He
give.
does. No, you're right, bro.
No.
No lie, bro.
That's okay. That's okay.
But yeah,
Excuse me,
but-
master.
so I guess the moral of the story is have a good outlook, and things tend to work out better than you expect them to. Just keep a positive attitude and strive to
Jeremy-
make things better for yourself and especially for others.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was gonna say, a lot more that you've been through too, and I'm really proud of you.
Been through one or two things.
That's not my place to share. I'll let you share that one day if you want to.
Yeah.
Well,
but-
over the
fine.
the weeks, people the podcast will hear about me and my life, and
Absolutely.
I'm excited to share that.
I'm
but
sorry.
Right now, we're gonna move on to another.
To
person.
Manny.
Manny Cole.
I'm sorry for
Grant.
cutting you guys off.
Yeah, what the fuck, Tyler?
I didn't mean to.
Yeah, you
It's good.
6-year-old
It's
man.
good. It's good intentions.
All right, Manny.
Chrome Dome.
Indomitable will, inspirational story,
Well, I
random
mean,
boner, whatever you want to share about.
No, it's inspiration.
Just kind of, we just had a really
What's your
intense story of
inspiration?
trying to
Awkward
lighten
boner.
things up, or maybe a combination of all
Massa.
three.
a combination of all three.
I hate you.
One
Yeah,
time
when I
during
was-
a
yeah.
presentation, let me
Oh,
tell
I remember
you,
this. Oh,
aced it
Oh,
though. I aced it.
I aced
Of course
it
he did.
While my pants were tight, Jesus.
I was wearing athletic shorts.
Even
he
worse.
he had fucking Tootsie Roll poking.
And not one of the
Oh,
jumbo
Jesus.
tootsies either.
Not the
Oh, is it the French vanilla mini?
He said the
Mini.
French vanilla mini.
Yeah, it was those tutti fruities.
Yeah, you sound like you're a little tutti fruity, Tyler.
Tyler's a
Oh,
little
thank
tutti
you.
frutti. One day
Oh,
he'll,
God.
he'll,
Yes.
he'll share
Okay,
that with us. but
okay.
He
okay.
will.
Shut up.
That's a
it's
story
safe
for a
place
later
when you're
time.
ready for that, Tyler.
Shut up.
All right, sorry, Manny, continue. Sorry about that.
I mean, I don't really have an inspirational story, so to speak. I mean, if we were talking about like past experiences, I mean,
Then you can
not
share something
me.
that's inspired you.
Well, see, here's the thing. Like, there's only like two things that inspires me, but one is like personal
Parents
care
make
as
it over the wall.
What?
What inspired you to make it across?
What?
He's a
Wait,
joke,
wait,
Tyler.
wait. Hold on. Let Jeremy speak. God damn it.
Oh
I can't
gosh,
fin- I
dude.
can't finish that sentence.
Yeah, you better not.
Okay,
Oh my
okay, hold on. The first thing I ever heard Manny say ever was him talking about him jumping the wall. Let me him and so
That's what I said. That's what I said.
But I started that
I know.
trend. Me.
Okay,
I
so
fucking started that.
I hadn't met Manny before we started started the podcast stuff, and I'm writing the first episode script and stuff, um, and to make intros of everyone. Let's see, did you ever change it?
I don't think I did. I don't know if I did, but take a look at it. Maybe I did, or maybe I didn't.
Let's see. So it's late night, right?
Yeah.
It's gotta be
And
2 a.m.
Manny and I
Those are-
we're hanging out. Um. You did change it.
I did
Bummer.
change it. Wait. Hold on. I think I remember. I think I remember what I said. I think I remember
If
what I
you heard
said.
about someone jumping the border, that's probably
If
me.
you heard on the news, if you heard the news about someone crossing the border, that's me.
No, yeah, I
Yeah,
remember you said
That's
that. Yeah,
the first
Yeah, he
thing
did say
I heard him
that.
he
say.
did say that.
Yeah, he did say that.
The first thing I heard him say,
Ah,
and
He did.
ah,
He really did.
yes,
yeah,
Yeah, he did.
yes. Look at Tyler. He's shocked.
Yeah, cause he's a boomer. Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm gonna make a sticker out of that phase.
Yeah, that's lit, bro.
Do it, bitch.
You don't think
It's
I will? I'm
lit.
literally recording.
All right.
All right. So
Hold on.
what inspires you? Money, family, what?
Money.
Well,
That's more like greed.
no.
Can be
See,
inspirational.
see.
Yeah.
The thing is about money is that I'm not using it as for just for me. I'm using it about my parents because,
Yep.
as I
Sending it
stated
back
in
to
the
them
past,
back home. Gotcha.
yes, because as I stated in the past episodes of this podcast, my parents have sacrificed everything to
Yep.
help me live a better life. I'm living with them right now, and our house is not that great, but we're still surviving. We're still getting by, and the reason why I'm back in school. I'm studying and working is because I want to be able to make more money to help them out so that they don't have to work. By the time I reach 30, and by the time like what they reach 60 or 70, they don't have to keep working. They can they don't have to keep working the 9 to 5 jobs and bust their asses just to make enough money to get by. I can do that for them.
Absolutely.
I can help them get by so that if they want to, they can go back or they can travel the world if they want to, or if they want to go back home, they can do that also. They don't have to be here just to worry about how are we gonna make enough money to pay the rent or to pay the bills, gas, electric, things like that.
Thank you. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
important. I mean, I think one of the greatest things would be to retire. For your family. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
It'd feel
and
respect
good.
that.
It'd feel good. It'd be a great way to pay your family back and
and
show them you love them.
what's ironic is that the people who ask me why do I do this or why do I work or why am I going back to school, when I tell them the reason why, it's like, oh, that's a really good goal you have. That's a good mindset you're having. That's really good. You should keep that up. And it's like, yeah, but at the same time, you ask any other people, they would just say, "Oh, I'm looking to make more money. I'm looking at things like that." They're not looking at the fact that people who helped you, those are the people that you should help them. You should help them back. You should be able to repay them however you can. And with my parents, they've done so much for me that I want to be able to repay them back. I want to be able to pay off any houses that they want to buy, or if they want to go back home to Mexico, I want to help them out too.
Hmm.
However,
Yeah,
That's
awesome.
respectable.
All right, Cole or Grant, let me hear it.
Go for it, Cole, because you want to dip in a minute.
What was the question again?
If you have a motivational or personal growth story that you want to share, go ahead and share it. And I know you have some. Not just because you're my twin or anything.
No, I mean, I don't really have any off the top of my head. I mean, just ultimately, the biggest role models in my life would be like my father, or Grant, or my wife. And that would be really it. Those would be the biggest role models in my life. Their perseverance, dedication, commitment, through their, mental struggles and their anguish and their suffering, and to try and always rise on top is very impressive. And they inspire me to do better every day. So that'd be really it. Short and sweet.
All right, so I can't have you leave just yet, since it's already been almost an hour. So we're just gonna this is gonna be our last segment, and then we're gonna do our outro segment. But Grant, let me hear it from you.
Oh, me?
I know there's some stories that you got to share.
Lay it on
It's
us, Slim Sweetie.
okay.
If you
That's
don't,
okay.
obviously you don't have to share stuff if you don't feel comfortable sharing it with everyone in the world.
Or you can keep it short and sweet. It's fantastic.
So I mean, like, I'll put it to you this way: my core reason to be a psych major is because I have mental health. What I have on my rap sheet of mental health is up to the psychiatrists or doctors or whoever. I like to think I don't have any of it or I don't live with it, but we always do, I guess, or so do I. But I remember when I was in Florida and I was in rehab, and then I got out of rehab and I went to halfway. And when I went to halfway, I got to a point where I didn't have a job. My parents were still paying for some of the months of the halfway. I ran out of my medication. I wasn't eating. I wasn't really doing anything. I was just kind of being
Existing.
a body. And a couple people here and there. Again, I went to rehab, so that should give enough context. A couple friends were like, "Oh, here, I got a bunch of pills. You can have some." So I ended up taking a lot of different pills. I don't need to go in context what they were. And
Or tranquilizers.
probably, most likely, that's probably why I'm like a Saudi Magadi dude all the time. But yeah, I'm like, I remember being like on like a patio floor, and I'm like, why am I here? And I'm like low key crawling, and I like crawl into the room. I crawl into my room. I end up getting enough strength to make it onto my bed, and I laying on my bed, and I'm just looking up at the ceiling, and I'm like, is this it? Does this just stop here? Did I get to finally succeed in doing all my partying and drinking and everything, and I got it all out, and it was a blast, and that's it? And I was actually really pissed off with myself. And I woke up the next day, and I was really happy I woke up. And yeah, I'll cut it at that.
Yeah, I have to say, on account of that, Grant's guardian angel works the most overtime that I've ever seen. Like, I swear to you, whoever Grant's guardian angels, I would love to meet.
Maybe the same one
Death
that's
and I
double down
have
on me.
Death and I have an anti-death agreement.
Yeah, I've
Dude,
died.
yeah,
I've died 3 times. I've died 3 times,
There
and
you
they keep
go.
sending me back, bro.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess the Grim Reaper has he's like Jeremy, nah, fuck that guy. Grant, nah, fuck that guy. I don't want them. They are not welcome.
There's no place for me there, I guess.
They're too positive for my domain.
All
Get 'em
right.
outta
Well, thank you
here.
guys everyone for sharing your such personal stuff today. We're gonna
That
wrap
was
it
really
up
good
with
to hear from everyone.
with our weekly gratitudes. Okay. Just like I said last week, every week at the end of this podcast, we're gonna share something we're grateful for or thankful for. Because having a positive outlook really does make things a lot better.
Yes, it
I'll start
does.
us off. I'm extremely grateful for my mom for loving and supporting me so consistently throughout my life, making me strive to be better. And without that, I would not be the man I am today, or have such, I wouldn't have such as good friends. There would be my life would be completely different, without her working so hard to make me the man I am. So thank you, Mom. All right, whoever wants to go next.
Thank you for that, Jeremy. I'm extremely, eternally, soulfully, and heartfully grateful for each and every subscriber that I've seen so far, and each and every like and comment I've seen so far. Again, this is a steady, awesome growth, and it'll continue for us to keep chugging along. I love each and every one of you, all the people here, and everyone that's been commenting and watching us. I also want to shout out Jason Cowell, who I work with. He got me die-cast Dungeons and Dragons figures. Just
Oh,
got them.
wow.
They're fucking
Can we get a
awesome. They're
close-up? Can
metal.
we
They're
get a
really
close-up?
cool.
Yeah.
Close them up.
That's
Close
the
them up.
Mind
You
Flare.
got games?
Dude, I
Nice.
got this guy. I got some characters. But yeah, it was really sweet. He literally I didn't ask anything. He went out of his way and did it for me, and that's very grateful. I appreciate it. It's grateful. Awesome. Love you guys. Thank you.
All right, let's get one from Cole.
I am grateful to wake up and breathe. Thankful to just be able to see the sun rise and see the sunset. At least for this current week. Always a blessing. Every day above ground is a better day.
Absolutely.
All right,
Yeah.
Jeffrey.
I'm grateful for a couple things. Grateful for my mother, who is actually behind me right there, saw in the cut. I'm also grateful for my daughter, because she teaches me new things as being a person and how to treat others as well, because I want her to be treated like that. And I'm grateful for my mom because she's held it down for years. She's always loved me. She always cared for me, always there for me. Whenever something happens, I could talk to her if I need to talk to her. And my number one supporter will always be her. If not myself, then her. Always be my
Good to
number
hear.
one supporter.
Oh yeah. Thank you. All right, Manny.
Well, everyone wants to thank friends and family. I would personally like to thank each and every one of us right here, right now in the Chatterpot podcast, taking time out of your busy schedules to be a part and talk about personal experiences and such.
Thank you
Thank
for
you,
that,
Cole.
Manny.
All right.
Thank you.
Wrap it
Thank
up with
you.
Tyler.
Thank you, Manny. Thank you.
I will continue that trend of mom and dad. Not just because you guys said it, but because especially right now, mom and dad are about to help me move into school, and my dad just had surgery, so he can only do so much, but he and mom are gonna help me move in tomorrow to college, and make sure I get settled in. That we got our groceries today, everything to make sure that I'm all good ready to go. So yeah, family and my girlfriend. So everything to me right now. So
Good on you, brother. Good on you.
All right. Thank you, Potter.
and of course you guys though. So
All right. Thank you, Chatterpod. I appreciate you guys being on here today.
Yep,
And
thank you,
everyone
Chatterpod.
for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you next week.
Join us next time as we continue to explore thought-provoking discussions, inspiring growth, and celebrating the power of ideas. Thank you.